Episode 107 here at the Wheelhouse. There's no Joel. He'll be back in the bunker next week. But what we do have is Henk Vogels and Merckxy.
Yeah, yes. I'm here.
Can't forget Merckxy.
Can't forget Merckxy.
No,
hiding in the bunker.
Can't forget you either, Henk.
Hello, Kate.
I'm going to read something
Merckxy.
to you. Performance is the ultimate measure of success, but how you get there matters just as much as when. That's from Tudor Pro Cycling. They've had a very big defection this week. We're going to talk about defections. There are some not happy Jan Aussie fans out there. And I'll tell you a few unhappy Brits as well. We're going to talk Vuelta, cyclocross action in Australia. We've got some new national champions before they head over to Europe and fly the very muddy flag over there. It's been quite a week. Why don't we start with the Tour de France Femmes? Because I tell you, if you like being sleep deprived, then cycling season has got it all for you. From the Olympics, the Tour de France, the Paralympics are coming up. Now onto the Vuelta. Tour de France Femmes was very exciting.
Fantastic, wasn't it? I mean, the winning margin is now the most exciting, closest margin in history any
4 seconds.
for any tour like that. I mean, we all remember the Greg LeMond 7 seconds.
8 seconds it was.
8 seconds?
In 1989.
I obviously didn't remember very well then, did I?
No, but that was 1989
Yes.
when he beat Fignon.
Yeah. In the time trial on the Champs-Élysées.
And Fignon led by 50 seconds going in.
Yeah, I think it was 53, but anyway.
Well, there you go. There or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And Le Monde ended up winning by 8. In this case, it was Cassian Uedoma who held on, even though Vollering won the stage, got the stage bonus, collapsed on the road, got kind of shooed off it by one of the stewards, which I thought was funny, while she was, incapable of breathing, let alone moving, waiting, tick-tock, for Uedoma to cross the finish line.
Yeah, that was exceptional. And what a place for it to happen. One of the most famous climbs, if not the most famous climb in the world of cycling, the Alpe d'Huez, finishing at the top. But I must say, how do you get dropped on the very first climb of that stage and then hold on? Like how she must have some, as they say in Italy, some grinta, real grinta for her to actually just hold on that whole time and get a little bit of help, I might add, from the little Trek girls who had every right to ride, I might add, because they were out. They needed to ride themselves, but for her to hold on like that is just sensational for her to win like that. A lot
of character. She went for a period as the highest ranked rider in the world who didn't have a win. Always second, third, fifth, whatever. She did this without winning a stage as well.
Yeah.
But the first Polish rider to ever win a Tour de France, be it Femme or Homme.
Yeah.
And history for Poland, which is pretty cool.
And she won a classic this year too, if I'm not mistaken.
And she won Gravel Worlds.
So
she's turned it around.
Yeah. So it got anything to do with her boyfriend?
Taylor Phinney, who
was there actually doing paintings on the road and sleeping in his tent.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that cool? He's a super cool dude.
They call, hold on, there's wives and girlfriends, the wags. What are the fellas called?
They'd be called the stags, Kate. I think.
I don't think that acronym serves up.
No? I was going to go somewhere there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, no.
But
for the uncut version later, perhaps.
This is the uncut version, Kate. Every week there is none, zero editing. This is it. This is Merckxy. We don't do any editing here, do we, mate?
We do not, mate. No, I like the stags.
Hold on, I think technically they'd be the Habs, the husbands and boyfriends.
No, that doesn't
resonate
as good as stags.
No, okay,
Katie,
let's go with
I'm
stags.
not a betting person.
He's a good stag, yes.
I'm not a betting person, but what would the odds be of Vollering not winning that race?
Oh, last week we talked about it when they were a couple of stages in, and I think I said, I can't see her getting beaten.
No.
So
that's the great thing about it, isn't it? I mean, yes, she crashed. She loses because of a crash, right? Well,
I'm going to say something perhaps a little controversial.
Okay, go ahead.
I think she lost because she's not the most popular amongst the group.
Wow.
Ooh.
And nobody helped her at all. Not barely even a team, if we're honest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I don't think anybody threw her a bone at all. Like, you can say Lidl Trek, helped Nui Doma, and they were...
But they had to ride, right?
But what I'm putting to you is, if it was the other way round and it was Vollering, would Lidl Trek have done the same, knowing that they were delivering Vollering potentially to a win?
No, I like it. I like it, Kate.
You like my theory?
You're throwing it out there, and I like it. You just got to say what you think.
Well, and look, for all intents and purposes, she's a really lovely person, but very cutthroat and very determined and ambitious, which is fine.
Absolutely.
But you don't always make friends along the way when that's your attitude.
Well, there's no gifts either, right?
No, there's
cycling.
no gifts either.
There shouldn't be any gifts in any race, because it actually makes it like not as special, because you shouldn't. No team should be gifting anyone anything. There's
agreed.
years and years and years of toil to get to the top of the sport, and you're not gifting anything. I don't care who you are. Like, they gift games in football. They don't do that in cycling.
We don't really have friends. Oh, well, unless you are talking about the post-tour crits.
Yeah, I mean, but they're on the piss. Like, they're drinking 7 days in a row, getting paid to actually put on show. And it's fantastic that they do that, because they wanted to see the heroes racing in their little town, and all the sponsors come in and, they have a party.
It's a different
It's a party.
It's not a gift.
That's not on the UCI roster. That's no teams. There's no team cars. That's a different story. But, yeah, for her to, I mean, would she probably not have won the Tour if Little Trek hadn't ridden?
Yeah.
She would have won the Tour. But anyway.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
They're also a big team that doesn't like seeing other big teams win. So maybe they decided, we will help you. We like you, and we're going to ride, because we need to ride anyway to get back into the race.
Yeah, and unless I've missed news, she still hasn't announced where she's going next year.
Nope.
So, and as soon as I said that, I thought, jeeps, have I missed something? Because it's very late in the season. She would know.
Do you reckon she's going a Little Trek?
Not now.
Maybe not.
Well, but if she hasn't announced it, they probably wouldn't know either. But it'll be interesting to see where she goes. I want to talk about Sarah Gigante. Top 10.
Wow.
In her first Tour de France Femmes. 7th, in fact. That's pretty promising.
More than promising. I think these roads, which we saw her race on in Holland, hurt her chances to win the Tour de France. But if to say they finally got their shit together and did a full 3-week tour with a week in the Pyrenees and a week in the Alps, I think Sarah Gigante would be not 7th. I think she would have been higher up on the GC, and she's made for that. Her body structure, her type, her weight, how she climbs, how talented she is going uphill. I think that, we would see her possibly on the podium and winning Tour de France one day, so that's really awesome to see that. And good to see Anya Lau too, one of our team's alumni, helping her out, and they're best of friends, those two. And
they're the same
Anya.
Generation. They came through juniors together.
Yeah, junior worlds, and they're thick as thieves, those two. So she actually crashed out last day, but good to see her up there and doing really well in the world of professional cycling.
And she achieved that with the team also doing amazing things. So Justine Guéquier, she won the QOM jersey and won a stage wearing it. We haven't seen that at the Women's Tour either yet.
No.
That was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Goosebumpy.
It is. And I really hope that the Tour de France now sees how spectacular that was, and they can now move forward to make it into a 2-week tour next year, or a 2.5-week tour, or maybe baby steps that they need, baby steps. And obviously there's more money investment needed into women's cycling. And if this week or last week was an indication of how well women's cycling is to have the closest Tour de France finish ever, then yeah, we're on.
Record.
How good were the crowds too? Huge crowds, and that's on the back of the Olympics. When you might think French fans might be a bit tired of sport, but
no, you
it
can
was
never
awesome.
get enough.
No.
You took the thought right out of my mind. Record-breaking crowds, record-breaking viewers on the television. Substantially more people watching the women's Tour de France than watch the Vuelta, as an example. That, you can't tell me. I have never bought into it, but people often say, oh, well, you know, we don't invest in women's sport because they don't get the numbers and it's just charity. I call BS on that.
No. Oh, I still think that they should run the women's Tour de France concurrently with the men's. They're closing the roads. The only problem is I don't think there'll be enough hotel rooms.
Yeah, that would be a challenge.
The logistics would be a nightmare, but still, I mean, everything's set up. Why don't you just start the girls before the men?
Well, look,
the men before the girls, I don't know, but it makes it a much longer day. But yeah, why not do the same course?
I've got a bugbear at the moment about just the scheduling in general. I mean, I understand that Olympics and throws a bit of a spanner in the works, but to go Olympics from Tour de France to Olympics, but then the very next day after the Olympics, Tour de France Femmes, which meant that a large number of incredibly impressive athletes, and I'm thinking Kristen Faulkner, who was on the track in the team's pursuit, as well as Chloe Dygert, Maggie Colslister, Kopecky, Daria Pakulik. Now Kopecky sat out.
You have very good pronunciation.
Pakulik, thank you. She went in, but a lot of them didn't finish because they had to finish a session at 4:00 in Paris on Sunday afternoon and go to a different country. Come on. I don't love that. I don't love that the Tour de France Femmes overlapped with the Vuelta. And I know it's a tough year, but I still think the fact that the women's Giro overlaps with the men's Tour de France, they're not really giving them the breadth.
Yeah. You need then you need a standalone event, I suppose, then, which is...
We could do a whole pod just on that, the pros and cons.
Yeah.
That's not our meaty topic today, though, because Matthew Richardson has gone and ruined everybody's week. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go to the Vuelta. It's hot. And if you didn't know what an ice vest was, all you have to do is watch the post-race interviews at the Vuelta to see what an ice vest is. They're all wearing them, over 40 degrees. This is just a bit ridiculous.
It is what it is, Kate.
It is what it is.
No, it is what it is. It has always been hot at this time of the year. The Vuelta is always on at this time of the year. So Spanish people love it. They're like, this is not hot.
What accent was that?
They're like waking up and going, this is a normal Spanish day.
This is not the hot.
Yeah, it was kind of half Italian, Spanish. But deal with it. Like the Spanish have to deal with the bloody Belgies and the snow and the sleet and the hail. Yep. And you need to go to Spain in September and you need to be able to ride fast up hills at 40 degrees.
Okay, well, let's not talk about that anymore then. That is fair.
I just absolutely reckon this is how it's always been. And you know what? The Vuelta used to be in May.
It did.
It used to be in May. So where are you going to fit the Giro in? And then, every country wants their showpiece, and the showpiece is always in Spain and in September. So I've done many races, as you have, Kate, in extreme heat, and this is why this is the toughest sport in the world. 21 days, riding up 61,000. We did the stats in the last podcast, metres over the next 20 days. It's actually 19 because you have 2 rest days. It's a horrific sport sometimes.
Well, I think if it's too hot, the one easy thing they could do is change the time of day that they race.
But the Spanish don't eat till 10 o'clock at night, so how are they going to get out of bed before?
TV. That's prime time, baby.
But there's sunlight pretty late.
True.
So they could shift it back in the day. I know it's all linked to TV. That's the thing. So, anywho.
We will save all cycling world's problems on this podcast one day.
Yeah, but just one at a time. We'll digest all of them. We'll give you all of the answers you need in one little package with lovely blue backgrounds and all the expertise you could ever need here at the Wheelhouse. Let's talk about the Aussies at the Vuelta because Caden Groves, Queenslander, he's re-signed with Alpecin for another 3 years. He loves it there. It shows he's winning.
Does he love it there?
Well, he must.
Oh, there was chat he was going to leave.
It was a fair bit of talk.
But he stayed. He re-signed, and he said, "I love it here."
Well, that's what the press release said.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
No, I think...
He must love it enough to stay, and he must find it a supportive enough environment to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a niche now. So maybe he thinks Jasper Philipsen is the fastest man in the world.
Yes.
And I'm most probably never going to do the Tour de France, but anything can happen in cycling. Collarbones, injuries, illness. Jasper might not be good next year. Who knows? It's a fickle world that we live in, and anything. And I've run teams and I know how much sickness, injury, broken bones cost your career. I'm a little surprised that he signed with them because he now foregoes the Tour de France victories because they're not taking him. They're going to make sure he goes to the Giro and the Vuelta, and maybe he's got a fantastic bonus program which pays him a lot of money to win World Tour and Grand Tour stages, and he can possibly win as many as Jasper in the Giro and the Vuelta, but he foregoes the Tour de France. So, I mean, he's happy. So that's the number one thing he's signed. He wouldn't sign unless he had a good deal on the table from them. And also he gets free rein in the Giro and the other races where Jasper's the king, which he is.
Unless Jasper has a mysterious injury.
Like, are you thinking like Nancy Kerrigan?
Well, I'm just saying, you know.
Like Tonya Harding?
You know, people miss out on the tour.
They do.
Merckxy.
I'm just saying.
I'm glad you're in the bunker and not in here with us.
We've had some great stories in cycling, but we have not had a Tonya Harding.
I don't mean that. I just mean like he could, you know, Philipsen could get sick or get injured.
True. Or
I don't know. There's a couple of blokes have been in a few fences in the last few years.
Yeah.
Well, mostly Philipsen's put them there. That's also an issue.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is a talking point
if
too.
If you look at Netflix, if you look at Unchained,
yes, he comes across as a very dirty rider.
Very dirty rider.
I'm going with the accents today.
I like it. Yeah. Okay. Joel is very good at accents, but we kind of banned him from doing them because the whole show would get done in accents.
Can you please just ban them from me as well?
Okay, you're
I'm
banned.
Horrific.
Yes.
Okay, done.
Very dirty. Okay.
Yes, but I really am a little bit surprised by that. But he's riding very well in this year's Vuelta. He's won a stage. He was third last night.
Yep.
And unfortunately, your man, Wout van Aert.
He beat him. He got second in the stage. Yeah. So he didn't win, but he beat Caden.
I'm looking forward to this matchup with those two guys in the Vuelta. I mean, I think Caden is, I wouldn't say that he's the favourite, but he's going to give Van Aert a run for his money in this Vuelta.
Well, so there's an interesting dynamic there. So Roglic took over the red. Wout had the red. But Wout also thanked Sepp Kuss for the earlier stages, saying it was his work that helped him get the red. Now, if you look at the GC overall, and that was because when they chose their time trial slots, Sepp Kuss gave Wout the best time to start based on the conditions to give him the best chance of taking the red. So that's nice camaraderie. But if we look at the overall GC, there is Sepp Kuss is outside
already.
The top 10.
Yes.
He's in 14th as we record. So that might give Wout a bit more leeway to go and do his thing.
It will.
You know, versus if Kuss had have been right up in the GC hunt again. It's early days though.
Well, I don't reckon Kuss is going to need Van Aert. I think it's different. And you know what? He's going to be hunting stages in the mountains anyway and doing what Visma do, like they did in the Tour de France. They send Wout up the road and they send some other domestics up the road so that, you know, they can try and attack and then try and
Take the pressure
clog
off.
up the wheel. That didn't work in the Tour. I don't think that's going to work here either because Sepp's already lost a minute. He's out of the, you know, he's a minute 15 or something. He lost 48 seconds up the mountain's top. So
you're saying that's out of it. So Jack Haig is a minute 20 down. He's also out of the running for a top position.
Roglic will probably crash again.
Whoa, see?
We hope he doesn't.
Well, I don't hope
history
anyone ever
says,
crashes,
though,
but like he has a hard time staying up. Like he's even on an uphill time trial, he falls off.
We took to calling him Sticky Tape Man because every time you see him, he literally looks like he's been sticky taped together.
Yeah, well, he actually broke his back in the Tour.
In the Tour.
Can you believe it? What a freak. I mean, he must be unbelievable to be at the level he was at the Tour, break his back, pull out, come back. I mean, it's not that long ago watching the Tour de France, right?
Mm-mm.
So he's come back now. He's taken the lead and pretty commanding too. So,
Hank, did you notice Kate's wearing red today because her boy Wout looked good in red, she said. So
it's not strictly true. I'm wearing red because this is one of the lovely shirts from my Channel 9 wardrobe in Paris.
Not one you meant to send back, is it?
So no. It's so it's been dry cleaned, and that's really why I'm wearing red. But it does tie in wonderfully, doesn't it?
To the red.
To that.
To
red
the red
for
jersey.
Wout. Yeah.
Okay.
Vuelta
How do
season.
you say it? How do you say the red jersey?
Roja.
I'm not
Which
allowed
one is
to
it?
do. I'm not allowed to do Spanish. Remember?
Rojo. Yeah.
Roja.
Roja. Is that right?
I don't know. That's a type of wine. Rioja.
Rioja. Yeah.
It's the
not
best
that.
wine.
Rojo, I
We'll
think
ask
it is.
someone.
Anyway.
We'll get some professional.
No, I'm telling you, I won a few
Anna,
stages
we need your help.
in that race.
She always
back in
keeps
my-
me honest with pronunciation. Now, while we are sticking with the fellas on the road, let's look at our timepieces. I don't currently have one on, but if I did, I'd be pleased if I saw a Tudor watch. They're very beautiful watches.
Yes.
They're also a very good cycling
Swiss-made.
team. Swiss-made. Just like Fabian Cancellara.
Correct.
Also
Isn't that
Swiss-made.
funny how he got a Swiss sponsor?
Isn't it?
Hey?
The next thing is going to be Milka. The chocolate. That would be
I
good.
remember that.
Oh, could you imagine the
Although-
ads they can do?
The purple and the red might clash.
No,
They'd
that'd
have
be-
to find a
But
good
how
colour scheme.
good would that work? Like, you know, like they do cow ads, like purple cow ads
They do.
in Switzerland.
Yeah.
They could just ride around in purple kit.
That'd be a great kit.
Like
with
the
cow
cash
print.
cow.
I mean, they wouldn't moo, obviously, but yeah.
Move out of the way, please.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God, you need a job in advertising.
I really think they need to maybe get a mascot.
Am I making some big moves, though, huh?
Anyway, big moves because Mark Hirschi had signed, but Alaphillippe, Lulu, he is no longer howling for the Wolfpack. He's heading over to land of dairy cows and watches.
Just saying,
Do you-
Hershey is a brand of chocolate in America.
Hershey, see, exactly. Mark Hirsch, and he's also
But
Swiss
that's an
made.
American
so,
company,
No, true,
Hershey.
I know, but you know, we're just sticking on
It's
the
a theme.
chocolate
Yeah,
theme.
I know on the chocolate thing.
Yeah,
But
what do
they're
we
making
think?
some big moves.
So what do we think about
I think
Lulu going
this
there?
is I'm putting my ass on the line
I
here
like
with this one.
yes.
So I reckon he's doing a Chris Froome
And just like taking the money and
gravy. He's on the gravy.
putting the handbrake on.
How old's he?
Oh, good
32?
question. Yeah,
Yeah.
thereabouts.
Froome signed for Israel for 3.2 million euros and got second in one race and hasn't finished any others he started. And I'm being harsh on him. He's actually a very good bike rider and a top bloke. I don't want to, but he signed a beautiful contract to finish his career.
Well, so the quote I read earlier, performance is the ultimate measure of success, but how you get there matters just as much as when. So are you suggesting that they're not too focused on when Alaphillippe will get to the finish? It's how, you know, with a little bit of panache perhaps.
Well, I mean, he's one of the most popular riders in Europe. He's an excellent rider. I just think his time in the Wolfpack was his best time. They need a big name in that squad to garner a Tour de France start. It's really hard to get a World Tour license. You've got to buy it for 4 years or you've got to buy it off someone else. They're not... To get a license, why go through all the trouble of getting a license when you can buy the best French rider in the world? Well, maybe some people think Laporte and a few others have gone past him, but when you buy a rider like Alaphillippe, you're buying your way into the Tour de France.
Well, so they're ranked number 22 in the world at the moment. They're the fourth Pro Tour team behind Lotto Destiny, Israel Premier Tech and Uno X. So theoretically, they should get some wild cards.
They'll get a wild card.
And is that, though, in part because of Cancellara's influence and relationships?
Well, if Cancellara had a relationship, he would have been in this year.
Okay, so that's a no.
But they, I think, operate just as good as a World Tour team. I just don't think they have the names. They've got a really good team. But
so do you think maybe to get into the Tour, they think, hey, we'll buy the most popular French rider at the moment, and
exactly
here we
what's
are.
happened. No, that's exactly what happened.
That's
They've bought
exactly
the
what's
they've bought the biggest name in French cycling, and
And they're like, we dare you to leave precious Lulu out of the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's happened.
Like
and good on them. But that's a smart move.
Total Energies did that with Sagan, right?
They did.
They got him.
Yeah, but he was still running second, third, fourth, fifth, second, third, fourth, fifth. He was always there, you know. His best days with Bora, obviously, Flanders three world champs and Roubaix, and then signed with Total Energies, who are a huge French company, and they still got their money. I don't care whether he didn't win a race. Well, he did, but like
they got their value.
They got their value having the biggest personality in cycling.
It's quite funny. When I was in Paris, I kept seeing ads for Total Energies everywhere, and because I haven't seen that while they've owned a team, I kept thinking it was cycling related. It wasn't,
yeah.
But they are a very big brand.
It's essentially the French. It's a French BP, French Ampol.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and they make enormous. I've spent enormous amounts of money in there buying
Haribos.
Lots of crappy food on the highway, driving around Europe to bike races, pulling into Total Energies and filling up, and so
probably some milk and chocolate in there, I would say.
Chico roll.
Dagwood dog. They don't do that in Europe.
No.
Can we get on the plane and go west?
We can.
Because Oz Cycling this week announced the course for the 2025 National Road Cycling Championships.
Mm-hmm.
This was contentious. When it was first announced, people were saying, "Oh, Perth's so far away, blah, blah, blah." Cry, cry, cry.
What that sounds like. Do you want a blanket? Maybe a dummy?
I think they need a pat, perhaps.
Suck your thumb. Seriously.
Yeah, haters going to hate, right? But they've announced the course.
Yeah.
For someone who hasn't extensively ridden in Perth, I've taken a look. It looks pretty spectacular. 13.6K, much punchier climbs than what we had in Buninyong. A bit more equitable, so raced really hard. It might not come down to a bunch sprint, but it also gives the sprinters a better chance of surviving. What do you think?
Of the road course?
Of the road course. Give us a recap.
You're not going to get a more spectacular road course. Okay, that's point number one.
Hold on.
In Australia.
That's a big call.
No, you won't. Seriously. When you go across the finish line in Kings Park, which overlooks the Swan River and the skyline of Perth City, Central, CBD, you look across it all. It's like a row of eucalypt trees. It's beautiful surface. It's a flat, straight finish. The roads are fantastic. You go up 2 climbs. You go through Kings Park, which is amazing. So there are no houses. There's no people crossing streets. This isn't a residential area. This is a national park in WA in Perth. And then once you race through the national park where the finish line is, you go down to Mounts Bay Road, which is a fast, flat, very famous piece of road which the Papa's Bunch Ride races on every year. So that you ride along the Swan River, then you ride into the CBD of Perth, and then you climb up a 1 kilometre very tough hill before the finish line, which is going to sort out the sprinters after, I'm not sure the exact amount of laps, but yeah, it'll be a tough final. So super fast course, 2 hard climbs, spectacular scenery, fantastic road service, windy with no residential houses. There are going to be tens of thousands of people around there watching this road course. It's cool. Huge. The climb and through Kings Park it's going to be 20 deep on each side of the road. It's in the city, so we're going to see a lot of spectators. The weather's going to be super hot in Perth because WA boys generally dominate the nationals anyway, with Freiburg and Durbo and Meyer and all those guys.
If you actually think about what the crowd can come and see, we've got our road fellas, Hindley, Welsford, O'Connor, right, the big names. If you take Welsford and remember that he's now an Olympic gold medalist, you've got Connor Lay,
Ollie
Bledden as well thrown in there.
Yeah.
Kell O'Brien can be an honorary Western Australian, I think, based on his involvement there. So they will have a lot of locals to come out and cheer for.
Yeah, there's a pretty healthy cycling scene in WA too, and I think you'll still get a lot of eastern state I wouldn't call them club riders. I call them national level riders who will come and have a crack at the national championship. So, but it's a spectacular course. I mean, the road course and the time trial course and the criterium course are so much different than Ballarat. Like the criterium course is downtown Northbridge. So imagine having a criterium in the centre of Fitzroy or Carlton or Richmond, in the centre of the city. It's super fast. I've raced on that course myself back in the day. So that's going to be spectacular in itself. And then the time trial course is hilly. It goes along the Perth coast down near the beach. And there are some climbs in it, but super fast roads, and around Bowl Park near Perry Lakes, where the West Australian Institute of Sport is. So they've done lots of time trials around there. And it's all in parks and gardens. So so it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting national championships.
Will the quokkas be an issue, Henk?
No, mate. The quokkas live on this tiny little island called Rottnest, which was founded by the Dutch again. And they thought they were rats, so they call it Rat Nest, which turned into Rottnest. And they're super cute, so you can get on and take selfies over there with them. That's a kind of thing that they do.
They literally smile. They're very cute.
All right, well,
They're very cute. Look, we've gotten on board with bilbies in the past. We had chocolate bilbies at the eSports. I think if we can find a chocolate quokka,
I reckon
we'll get Wheelhouse over there. The fans will have a lot to cheer about. Do you know what they won't have to cheer about, though? They won't see who was last week a local hero, Matthew Richardson. No longer a local hero, because no longer a local. Matthew Richardson, our 3 times medalist, 2 individual silvers and a team bronze from Paris, has announced he is defecting to Great Britain. He was born in Great Britain, moved over when he was 9, but he's done interviews, Henk, extensive interviews where he's been asked, Aussie or Great Britain, and he has always unequivocally answered, I'm Australian. I started riding in Australia. I choose Australia. He's announced he's leaving. He's now changed his tune, released a statement saying, I was born in Britain. I've always been British. He's backpedaling quicker than he forward pedalled on the boards in Paris. What do we think?
What do I think?
What do you think?
This could be dangerous.
Do you have the beep button ready, Merckxy?
No. There's nothing like that. I think he's bought himself a gold medal.
Do you?
Yeah, I reckon he has. I reckon he's bought himself a gold medal by doing that.
Okay, I'm going to say something counter to that, because imagine you're one of the riders from Great Britain and you're the 3rd team sprint rider and
you'd be pretty dark.
You just read that you lost your job and the other 2 are like, what? We don't want him.
Yeah.
He might take our jobs too. They've just had a lot of trust broken with them and their coaches as well. So culturally, this could destroy the British program as well.
Yeah, it's going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons, and hey, there's never a dull moment, is there, in cycling?
But why do you think he buys him a gold medal? Like the funding,
the team sprint.
Finally.
So the team sprint.
Team sprint.
So I'm specifically talking about the team sprint only.
Okay.
I still think that Harry Leveson will still be around, and I think he'll probably win the next one too. He's going in that trajectory, but he is actually getting better, Richo. So we talked about this not so long about how it'd probably be at the sweet spot in LA, and he will, and he moves into a better team sprint team than we currently have.
I don't know that I agree.
No,
but I can see why from the outside you can say that, and I don't mean you're not an outsider, you're an expert. But what we saw in Paris was Lee Hoffman, the fastest first wheel in the world, by a long shot, I might add. The reason they got bronze, not silver, is because nobody could hold on.
Matt Glaetzer?
Well, yeah, but Matt Glaetzer couldn't get on, but nobody could, right? That's how fast Lee Hoffman is. And so what they had to do was turn it around so Glaetzer started. And that got them a great time and got them a bronze medal, but it would have been a time that would have gotten them a silver medal ahead of Great Britain, behind the Netherlands. So I actually think
fair call
that there may be an opportunity here for the Aussies. But The question that I have, because I've been asked this a lot this week, like how does everyone feel? And everyone that I've spoken to, from cycling people to sports administration people, are a little bit grumpy at the way it was done. That he would have raced the Paris Olympics knowing
he's going.
Didn't tell the Aussies. The Brits would have known. Even if he told the Aussies, they would have still taken him.
Of course.
So that's a bit disappointing that that it's just come like a week after. It just comes out of the blue for so many people. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Kate, about him already knowing. He must have, because we only just finished the Olympics, so he would have made his mind up. Listen, his girlfriend's an English rider.
Yeah, but I've thought about the timeline. He would have had to apply for this before that relationship started.
Oh, okay.
So it's a newer relationship. So I didn't realise the timing at first, and I thought, that's got to have a lot to do with it. But actually...
Well, I mean, it's a kick in the guts, right? Like, it's a bit of a kick in the guts, but I will say this. I absolutely wish him the best, because you always want...
Agreed.
You always want that rider to succeed. It's his career, and he's doing what he thinks best for him. What my question is why? And this must have something to do with Cycling Australia. Like, that obviously he's seen their bikes, he's seen their preparation, he's seen the salaries, he's seen something that he is going to get better that he is not getting here. I can't see any other reason.
But
forget the romanticism of riding for your country. I'm sorry.
Sure.
But if you had the best bikes, the best funding, you had all the freedom to go and do all the Kierans, all the external stuff and make as much money, it's got to have to do something with how Oz Cycling has handled his past certain years. So how are you going to stop this in future?
Well, I mean, I guess the question there is, did he give them the opportunity? Did he say, I need this, this and this in order? Because you could also say that he got more opportunities than any rider in the program. Top level of funding, top level of support in every way, shape and form.
What's that? How does our top level of funding compare to the GB's top level of funding?
This is a big misconception. It used to be quite different. It's not anymore. So the Aussie athletes get around, I'm going to say around 70 grand. It could be 75, it could be 65, but around that ballpark, tax-free a year. Before, that's just as cash.
Well, that's interesting.
That's not nothing.
Then is it the bikes? Is it the technology? Is it the R&D? Is it the manager? Is it the coach?
I don't know.
Is it all that? So
he's not going for the weather.
Reason. I'm telling you, it can.
It's not going for the weather.
I just don't buy into the romanticism of when you are the number one sprinter in Australia. You have everything you get given to you. I just believe this has got to be a business decision. It's
got to be, yeah. And there's obviously something missing for him. And as you said, Henk, we wish him well. Like, that's important to say.
Everyone should.
Because in discussing this, I think it would have an effect on Richo. I think that, in fact,
you want him to succeed.
Whether he succeeds there will in part be how well he weathers the current storm.
It'll be old news in 3 weeks, in 2 weeks.
If you're resilient, but if you're someone that sort of thing can weigh on, then when he walks in and sees the Aussies at the track, or when his name pops up because he's a big social media user, and you know, and I think you're right, but I guess time will tell.
I wonder if there'll be some kind of investigation into why.
There will be, and there has to be.
And it's different, right? It's different to when Curbs went and when Perkins went.
Totally different.
Yeah, it's different.
Good points too, Merckxy, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
when Jordan Kirby defected to New Zealand...
Everyone was like, good on you, boy.
Everyone was so pumped. Everyone was like, it's absolutely ridiculous you didn't make the Australian team.
Well, he was world champion individual pursuit.
Yeah.
Correct.
And also one of the nicest humans on earth.
And
legend.
And so that's kind of a different story. And then for Perko, he was at the back end of his career and he wasn't going to get the opportunities with the Aussie team. And Russia would give them to him. So, again, kind of wish you luck, good luck.
100%.
I think it's just shocking a week after the Olympics, a successful Olympic campaign. That's probably buys into it.
Oh my
a fair
God!
bit.
Yeah, it still is a kick in the guts to what we have made him into.
Well, but
so
do
you know what I mean? It is, but I want to let you off, Richo, but I still want to do a little parting kick up the bum.
Yeah, like I want to say,
I mean?
absolutely, we wish him all the best, but seriously, we're grumpy at your decision.
Yeah, because we think you're a legend, and we all want you to ourselves, don't we? Really, it's a bit selfish, really. You want him to be successful, but
if you love them, let them go. I don't know about that. So what we do have, though, excitingly, is a good pathway coming through. You've got sprinters like Ryan Elliott and Tate Ryan who are blowing the lights out. Now, Junior Worlds is on at the moment in Laoyang in China. We will put the link in the notes because thankfully we found a live stream, how to watch it. But the Aussies so far, only one day at time of record, have been doing really well. Nicole Duncan, back-to-back wins in the scratch race.
That's never happened before, right?
No, not at junior. Oh, not at senior level.
No, I don't think Australians have got. No. Is Sutto, maybe?
No, they didn't have scratch races back then.
They didn't?
No,
they had points races.
I got a couple of silvers on the trot, but I never won because I was always there or thereabouts. But there was always someone a bit snappier than me at the finish.
Oh, fantastic! But
how good
back to back.
That gives me some hope that our talent pathways are bringing new riders in.
Yeah,
and the juniors now give them 8 years to get to Brisbane, and
these kids are the ones that are going to be at Brisbane.
Yeah.
Who are doing these junior worlds, they're going to be our best. They're going to, there's always lots more pop up, but, the Alistair McKellars and Levi Greenwoods and riders like that, and then this junior crop coming through, they're going to be the names we're going to be talking about on the Wheelhouse 2032.
Absolutely, 2032. Well, and if we look ahead to 2032, Richo will be in the back end of his career. There are only 2 sprinters over the age of 30 in Paris, so he may or may not get there. But I think the whole program in many ways is looking to a home Olympics. Let's not put too much importance on it that we don't. Let's go get muddy in Ballarat. They lost the road. They got the cyclocross. Our friend Max Hobson, national champion again.
Maxie.
What a legend.
What a legend. I think he's got a future on the road too, that kid.
Yeah, he's so talented.
Probably shouldn't call him a kid. He wouldn't like that, but compared to my age, he is a kid. No,
we had him in the studio last year because we got really on board with his adventures overseas. Actually, it might have been the beginning of this year. His cyclocross adventures to World Championships, to all of it. Like, it was so inspired that he backed himself to go and have those adventures. Yeah. And it's really paying off. So national champion again.
I know. I think a lot of the road directors too are looking more to those cyclocross and mountain bike, Cadell Evans athletes.
Well,
those kind of, you find, because it's such a difficult sport and it's just pure intensity for an hour, you get some good ones that transitions fantastic from those sports into road cycling.
It is, because if you look at the Tour de France Femmes, 8 stages, 6 different winners, 2 of which won their first ever World Tour races on the road. Both have come from cyclocross and mountain bike. So Blanka Vas, Hungarian, and Puck Peters, who is turning out to be, the hot ticket.
There's some cool names in women's cycling, isn't there?
I like
Cassia Niwadoma and Puck Peters.
Puck Peters is a cool name. It is a very cool name. But you're right, like the crossover. So in the women, Isabel Flint.
Izzy Flint,
Izzy Flint, she won. She is the under-23 mountain bike cross-country champion. But you had her as a soigneur at one of your races when she was injured?
Oh, no. Last year we were in Tour of Poyang Lake in China with the team, and she was actually working as a swannie. She had some knee injuries. She's been riding for Bridgelane. And she's taken a long time to come back due to those injuries. Now she's come back with a bang. So she's... that's another name to watch.
And a late entry too.
Yeah.
But good on her. I love that while she was injured, she still stayed engaged in the sport and still contributing to the sport rather than just being on her own in the background, not able to, like, that shows kind of your commitment to the sport as a whole.
Yeah, and she also was working for a boyfriend's team and they were getting to hang too. So
okay, there's that.
There's the added incentive. But
yeah, I didn't know that part, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, she's a smart lady and I think she's got a big future in the sport as well. So, our sport's not in too bad of a spot when you're seeing great athletes coming up, especially in the ladies, that's for sure.
Flint and Hobson. Yeah. Flint and Hobson.
It sounds like a law firm.
It does. It actually does. Coming straight to you, all your
and
cyclocross law needs and associates.
Bet you there is actually a law firm called that somewhere.
Flint and Hobson.
Yeah, sounds
right. We'll have a look. Paris start very soon. Over in Paris, we have reigning Paralympic champions Amanda Reid, Emily Petricola and Darren Hicks who are leading our team.
Yeah. Hicksy's a legend.
Good to what he is, isn't he? And you know what they've got back this year is the tandems. I love the tandems.
Yeah.
They're so good to watch.
They are so much fun. Is Michael Freiberg doing the Olympics this year?
He's not.
Blind tandem?
No, he's not. Gallagher and Ward are our tandem for the women. And Luke Zachariah has Kane Paris, who Shane Perkins coaches.
Oh,
Kane.
okay. Yeah.
And Kane's brother, Chad, his older brother, is a para runner.
Oh.
So successful para family. But we also have Lauren Parker, who amazingly is doing both the para tri and the para cycling. That's pretty cool. Like dual sport in one games.
Yeah.
That's all on Nine now.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep, you can find that.
Is Alistair Donahue competing this year, one of my old riders? I'm not sure if he got a start. I have to look that up. But, I mean, have you guys seen that crash where he gets knocked off in the finish line?
No.
Oh, you have to Google it. Seriously, he gets taken out by another athlete, put in the fence. Oh, I have to look it up, but it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific.
What event was that at?
I'm pretty sure it was either in the World or Olympic road race. He's come to the finish and he's been knocked off into the fence, and he's actually picked up his bike and gone across the line. But it's absolutely horrific.
Well,
Someone came past.
He'll be there, so he will be there to see if he can get a good result.
So I hope he is. He's a ripper bloke now.
And the other one I love is Dr. Alana Foster. She is just a cracking athlete. She was an athlete before she had an accident, and this has been her way through rehabilitation, and she's just an incredible person and athlete. So
some great stories in the Paralympics, isn't there? And who's that young athlete? Alyssa Leary?
Alexis Leary.
Alexis Leary.
In the swimming.
Yeah. She was. She crashed in a bunch ride in Noosa, and they thought they were going to lose her. And poor thing had a serious head injury, went into a coma, couldn't speak, and now she's like back in the pool. And
sensational.
You got to look her up. The story is unbelievable. I know. Mum and Dad, old man's a legend, loves a beer too. But that's a great story, so follow that one.
Oh, there's so many great stories. Scott McGrory's doing the commentary for Channel 9 for that, so he will be carrying on from the Olympics.
God, he's done a fair bit of calling on McStory.
I know, he has. McStory. McGrory with a McStory. Now,
we got a few stories ourselves.
We do there for another time, definitely.
I get told off all the time about that. Hank's telling stories again. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Bunch rides.
No, I love
They're
that.
like, we haven't heard this one again, have we? I get in trouble.
Now, the Tour de France Femmes is over. The Tour de France is over. Through that period, we ran a competition with Bikebug to win a Pogacar Colnago V4RS. Beautiful bike. We announced the winner yesterday. Barrel draw, old school, in the showroom, the Bikebug showroom.
We're going to have a look?
Because the fella who won...
Keith
from Ashfield.
Keithy.
It does not get better than his reaction. Take a listen to this. Keith, it's about to be your lucky day. Should we give him a call?
Hello, is this Keith?
Hello, speaking.
Hi Keith, this is Elliot calling from Bikebug. I'm here with Kate Bates from the Wheelhouse podcast, and we've just drawn your name as the winner of the Colnago for the competition.
Oh, get fucked.
Tell us what you really think.
That is the best. That is the most genuine reaction. And the best thing was we had to, of course, ask his permission to put it on media. Yeah, otherwise we would have just deleted the vision. But he was like, yeah.
You would have sent it to me.
No
you would
worries.
have sent it to me, though.
I would have sent it to you. Look, he said, I asked him if it was just going to be a museum piece, and he said, no, I'm going to write it like I stole it.
I like it.
Which
what a
is
legend,
very cool.
Keithy.
So cool. So thank you to Bikebug for getting on board.
What an awesome prize.
Really cool prize.
Oh, my God.
And I've never done a live prize draw before. I was like nervous. I thought, are they going to answer? What if we don't get the right reaction?
Oh, no.
You know, but he answered.
That went down really well.
It went down
$19,000 bicycle.
I know.
I mean,
you'd probably react like that too, eh, Merckxy?
Yeah, I wanted to win.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to win.
Nah,
Sorry.
we weren't allowed to enter.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Rules.
Now, before we wrap up this week, episode 107, Merckxy.
That's right, 107.
Look at us go.
Yeah.
Honestly, what a great adventure it's been. Another great adventure. We are apparently training for the Brisbane to Gold Coast. We are definitely riding it. The apparently is about the training part. I did a few Ks around Paris on an e-bike. Does that count? I don't know.
Not really.
I don't think so.
That's called cheating.
That's called cheating. Well, it's on the 13th of October.
An e-bike.
Sign up if you want to have a ride. And if you are riding, let us know, because Team Wheelhouse will have a team. Joel will be out there. Merckxy will be out there. Henk, you will be out there.
Most probably be out there.
Most probably be out there.
Hang on. Hank smashes out 100k every 2 days.
I know.
Every second day.
Well, he'll be out there, but he might just be a long way ahead of us.
No, there will be none of that carry on, I can tell you right now. Those days are over. I do cycling for fun these days.
So do I. It is 100 kilometres for the Martyr Foundation. They are raising money for cancer research. It is such a great cause.
Great cause.
I signed up because my auntie, precious Auntie Ruthie, Auntie Annie's her sister. Auntie Ruthie is going through cancer treatment at the moment, as well as my friend Kathy Peel. My dad went through it. Every family is touched by it.
Everyone.
And
so get on board.
Get on board. Come and tell us if you're having a ride with us.
100%. Yeah. Send us a message on here.
There is a 40k version too. Maybe we'll do that. No, 100.
No,
go the 100.
Well, you can do it if you want.
You can.
And you can think, if you get to that point where you want to just do the 40,
There's
do that.
a train.
Just do it.
I mean, if you get to that point, there is. But I figure
Uber.
It will. And Uber. It will be incredibly uncomfortable if we're not fit. But you know what they're going through is pretty uncomfortable too. So I think we'll be right.
It's great.
But in a bunch, you laugh and you just have.
It's a hard.
You shoot the shit.
I've done it, and it's excellent. Really well organised.
Although I did see a
finish
photo
on the
of you, Merckxy, up a hill, straining a little. That photo haunts me for the hill that we might have to tackle.
Hey, how do we get back?
We'll get the train.
We can get the train.
We can get a train?
Yeah, there's a train back.
Kate and Joel might ride
There's
back,
also buses back.
Or
so
Uber.
You can put... Or, well, look, we'll get you back, okay?
I just don't want to turn around and have to ride back.
You could do that too.
No.
Double challenge.
No, those days are over, Kate. I did tell you. We want fun.
We better wrap up because we've got to go get training.
Okay.
Get on the bike. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
There's another bloody...
But that's not Spanish or Italian.
It's German. It's Arnie.
Austrian.
Arnie.
Right?
Yes.
I'll be back.
Come on.
Come on.
Rojo.
Rioja wine.
Yeah.
It's good. Check it out.
Yes.
Nice drop.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
That's French.
I'm playing the music.